do? It's me. It's that wrestling dude. And I got a dude straight out of Vancouver Island, Canada, coming to us live tonight. Member of the Moment of Truth, the Whiskey Creek Menace, Johnny Rostyn, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Hey, how's it going?
Good, man. Thanks for coming on, man.
No problem. Thanks for having me, dude.
Yes, sir. Let's hop right into it, man. Who trained you? How many years you been at it? And where you based out of?
Um, BJ Laredo trained me. He's from Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling, right out of like Nanaimo, which is like right here on Vancouver Island. I wrestle mainly on Vancouver Island, and for VIPW and 365 here. I also wrestle for a couple other companies off and on in the Vancouver area down to Kelowna, BC. And what was that third question? Sorry.
How many years?
Yeah, I'm going on 3 years now. I think 3 years just passed last weekend.
Okay.
Just shy of 100 matches there.
Oh, already in 3 years?
Yeah, there was a lot of like 2024 was like it was almost like every single weekend, two nights out of the weekend. I was just going at it.
That's good, man. You a fan of wrestling growing up?
Oh yeah. I'm a lot older than I look. So I was a kid during the Attitude Era. So
Nice.
like when it was huge with Stone Cold and The Rock, and I just absolutely loved it.
Damn. So then, fresh out of it. So how'd you get into wrestling then? If you're a little bit older then?
Well, it's like growing up. Yeah, well, growing up, all my friends kind of got out of it, but I continued watching. So I was just like that lone friend. And one day I was on Facebook and I seen my buddy Rebel Knoxville. I was like, oh man, he's been wrestling. So I messaged him. I was like, yo, Rebel, how long have you been wrestling now? He's like, 2 years, man. If you can get into it, get into it. It's the most fun, dude. It's the most fun. 7 days later, like a week to the day, I open up my Facebook in the morning and Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling has a little like resume, like come and sign up for our new opening school. So right away I just sent mine off, and about 25 minutes later BJ messaged me back and he's like, all right, this is what you got to do, this is when you got to come. And I started there, and I just fell in love with wrestling even more than I ever had been.
Damn, so just out of the blue, you just hit your boy up and then you just got the balls to go from there?
Yeah, because he was like, oh, there's a school here and there's a school here, but like you would have to travel and like maybe get off the island. And like the one school on the island, I don't know if they're operating. Turns out they were just operating in a different spot than I thought they were. And I wasn't driving at the time, so it's kind of hard for me to get there anyways. And then so like the week later, the fact that a school was opening in the same town I was living in was kind of serendipitous. And then yeah, it was kind of luck in a way, right?
Yeah, because it's wild. Because growing up, there was like wrestling wasn't as like it seems now. Like here in Florida, like every city has its own school. Like kind of when I was growing up, it wasn't like that. You needed to know somebody to get into it. Like the schools weren't around as crazy as they are now, and how easy it seems, more accessible it is now.
Yeah, like I didn't when I was younger, up to moving to Vancouver Island 7 years ago, I didn't even realize you could go to training centers at all. Like I just figured it had to be like you had to grow up in a family that was already doing it, or have like really close friends that were doing it that were gonna like privately train you.
Yeah.
And then I didn't get like kind of smart to the idea of like training centers and schools and stuff like that till like I moved here, and I actually started watching more like New Japan and stuff like that, where they talk about dojos in Japan, where it's like I'm never gonna get there. And then I started watching like local shows for VIPW, and at the time 365 was called PWA, and they would always talk about their school up in Campbell River. And me not driving at that point, I was like, oh man, I can't get up there, you know.
Were you a natural since day one? Was it easy for you?
I mean, like I'm pretty athletic, so when it comes to like blow up drills and like cardio and stuff, I'm pretty decent at not getting too blown up. But like I don't think I was a natural in any way. I really had to like put my mind to remembering stuff. And there's still stuff now that like last night, for example, we were going back over hip tosses, and for some reason I was posting wrong. And it was like I got into a bad habit of posting totally wrong. So it's like I do have to think about things constantly and rehashing stuff. So I don't think I'm a natural in any way. I still see myself greener than a pepper tree. I don't in no way ever think I will have like a vet status, because I feel like I'm always going to be green no matter what, because there's always something I can learn. And I definitely need to like constantly relearn stuff, because I'm not gonna lie to you, I get into bad habits. I'm not the best in ring. I might have like a great character and do awesome crowd work, but I'm always having to work on my in ring. That's for sure.
Yeah, like I had Super Mex Hernandez from TNA LAX, and he said like he was like year 12, 13 before he finally got comfortable of like, all right, I feel like I know what I'm doing finally. And by then
Yeah.
he was already in TNA, but like in 5 years by that point already having matches with like Kurt Angle and Sting. And then he's like, one day I woke up and I was like, oh, I feel like I could actually go now.
Yeah, that's wild. That's wild. Like I won't mention his name, but there's somebody that's really prominent in my life and a big mentor to me. And if you can connect the dots of like the group I'm with and who might this be, and I'm really close to him, like I am number 3 in Moment of Truth. So imagine who this is. He always tells me to not sweat things because he sucked for 6 whole years before he started to get it.
Yeah.
And right, I don't want to drop any names, but if you can connect the dots and hit the puzzle pieces, you know exactly who I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, and that's what everyone kind of says. The same thing. It takes some people a little bit longer than others, but one day like it all clicks, it all comes together for them.
I like had a match in December with Elliot Tyler for 365, and it was just like I always stressed and I stressed and I stressed like going up to the match to get everything together, and like for some reason like he was so like smooth and easy to work with that that match went so well that I stress a little bit less now. So it's like every match I've had since then, I feel like I'm getting a little better and I stress a little less. So maybe in a couple years from now, I could be like, oh yeah, it's like driving a car. But like, I'll probably still have to work on stuff. I stopped smoking weed. I stopped drinking. I even stopped smoking cigarettes. I smoked cigarettes for like 24 years of my life. And not smoking weed at all has like made me remember so much better that I can go through a match once and actually have it so I don't get so stressed, right? Because they'd be like in the corner, like going through stuff, and I'd be like, wait, what was that? And then I would have to go ask the person. But now it's like, oh no, I got it, because I got sober for this business. So it's definitely helped helped a lot with not stressing out, that's for sure.
That's awesome, man. Congrats on that.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's what I always thought would be, to me at least, the hardest part is remembering all that shit. And that's what I always wonder, like, how the fuck do you go out there and like put on the 20-minute match and kind of remember? And not to say like you can call your shit in the ring and like, but your spots that you're gonna have to remember to do, especially like the referee, like you got to know where to be in what position throughout the match.
Yeah.
To me, it's more responsibility than actual guys working the match.
I feel like too, when you first get into it, you're always trying to remember everything. And then slowly it becomes natural. Like when you first start driving a car, you're like, okay, I got to hit my blinker. But now it's like, now that you're driving a car, you're getting up to the stop sign, you're downshifting, boo, 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 you hit the blinker. Everything is just kind of like a flow. And the more I get into it, the more that flow happens. But also the more I get into it, the more bad habits and bad little like traits will show up. So then when I'll be in training, my trainer Dre right now, Hillbilly Hound Dog Draco, he'll be like, yo, why did you post with your hands like this? You should be posting with your hands like that. And it all turned into like a habit of being in the ring and I didn't train very often for about a year and a half. Once again, I wasn't driving again at the time, so I wasn't like being able to get to a certain school. And now that I'm back training a couple times a week, like last night we were doing hip tosses, and he's like, why do you keep posting like that? And I'm like, I don't know. And it was actually bothering me, where I had to get quiet for a second in my head and be like, okay, go to do it. And then he's like, all right, good. You got it. Like, right.
Yeah.
So there's always stuff to work on. There's always things that you're going to have to think about, but other things come naturally. Like the formula of a match is mainly a certain way. And then, so once you kind of get that formula down, you know how to work through stuff a little easier. And then you also realize like how fast you're going in a match to where your times are at. So it's like, all right, well, I just did this. Maybe I can lean over the top rope and mount that fan in the front row that called me some names when I was coming into my entrance. And like slowly being able to work that like crowd work in with your match skills as well as also like becomes a little bit more natural, right? Like I'll be honest, like I say, I'm like I still see myself very green, but slowly each and every match I feel myself getting it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you got to put it in hours. What they say, 10,000 hours?
Yeah. And I'm probably nowhere close to that because like man, like December wasn't that long ago, and if I just started clicking on it then like I'm maybe only a few hours in technically, right? Like
No, but I mean, 100. You said 100 matches in 3 years. I mean, that's a lot for just getting started.
yeah, it's like I think I'm at 92 right
Yeah.
now. So it's like by the middle of the summer, I'm hoping because I work for both companies here on the island. 365 runs like 3 weekends a month, and VIPW runs 2 shows a month. And last year I was just with 365, and me and my tag partner Sawyer Stein were even tag champs for a collective of 2 reigns of 132 days. And that really helped as well because I felt like I needed to prove not only to myself, but to my booker, Eddie Osborne, that I deserved the spot he gave us, right?
Yeah.
So it's like tried to put it into high gear and it didn't matter. My ankle hurt. It's like I don't know if you watch the show Shoresy. I know that's a big thing in Canada. It's a Canadian hockey show. It's like don't tell them when you're hurt. Don't tell them when you're hurt. So you just keep pushing through stuff, and that helped a lot too, right? But three weekends a month, pretty much 2 nights a weekend, and sometimes you do 2 matches in a night, so it all kind of adds up from there, right? I think there's a YouTube link that we did a small island called Quatra Island, just off like Vancouver Island. There's maybe 30 people there, but there's 6 of us, and we needed to do a whole show. So it was like 3 singles matches, and then like almost like it's not like an elimination, but like almost timed in where nobody could get pinned until all 6 members were in the match. But it starts out with 2, and then there's throughout the first 3 like singles matches, whoever won and whoever was like won the most matches out of the 2 groups got the advantage. So it's like that person would come up first, and then it'd be 2-on-1, and then 2 minutes would go by and the other person come in, and like I was watching that with my parents when I was home in Ontario about a month ago, and you could progressively see all of us just getting more and more and more tired. But it's like it taught me so much, whether there was 30 people there or 300 there, right? It was wild. It was actually one of the most fun shows I had last summer.
I just saw you in a 6-man with Garth Wayne Garth won. That's the same match?
Yeah, Garth Wayne. He trains at VIPW training center with me as well. Yeah, he ended up winning that match. I was in Langford. That was actually a lot of fun. I know 6-mans can get really messy sometimes.
Yeah,
but that one seemed to went pretty smooth, and it was a lot of fun. And I'm proud of Garth. Like Garth just came a long way. I gotta say that he's really starting to finally like get into his own. So I'm excited to see where he's gonna be in a couple years because
I'm assuming he's young too because he looks super young.
He's in his 30s.
Okay, he looks good. He's still got a baby face thing. Good for him.
Yeah, I think he's 33. If it wasn't for like the YouTube being like, you'd see some peppering. He's got some peppering in his hair. It's like you get up close to him and you're like, oh damn, okay, maybe you are a little bit older. But from afar, he looks like he's only like 26, 27 years old.
Yeah. Who'd you initially break in as?
I was a dirty, rotten Johnny Rostyn when I first
Okay.
started, and I was a little more of just like a crazy, yelly, screamy character, but not a lot different than I am now. Now it's just like the bandana and the chains and like the one buttoned up flannel was more of a joke. For a show, I went out with a toothpick and a front knot, Scott Hall. I went
Yeah.
out and then I was like, dude, I got so many fans like, what's with your band? And they were just giving me heat. So I was like, oh, I'm gonna run with this. I'm gonna go
Yeah.
like I'm gonna mix that little bit of Scott Hall NWO with a little bit of like unmasked Rey Mysterio and a little like Sons of Anarchy biker that I already was. And I'm just gonna try to run with something that almost I don't even know if I'm allowed to. I call it Sons of Cholarchy because like that's kind of what it looks like. But at the same time, when I chirp people, it's more of a Canadian hockey player. Like I when people will say something and say Sawyer's in the ring and I'm just managing the match, they'll say something to me and I'll be like, oh yeah, buddy, what's your number? I'll punch it into your face. But so I've mixed this little like a little bit of like Canadian hockey player shit talk in with this like a little bit of a cholo, a little bit of Sons of Anarchy look to make my own little biker gangster
Yeah.
because I wanted to kind of be different. Like the first time I debuted that full look, one of the fans in Victoria was like, Rostyn, what the hell are you wearing? And I turned around and just like shook my head at her, but in my brain I was going, good.
Yeah.
This is what I wanted. I wanted it to like create some kind of heat, but that's where I turned to. But I was more of like Dirty Rotten Johnny Rostyn was more of this like a modern day outsiders with like a motorcycle feel. And then
Okay.
when I got into Moment of Truth, I was trying to grow my hair longer and like get a longer beard. There's like a picture because there's a picture of me and Jordy standing side by side where it was starting to work because I wanted like my character to almost be like his disciple where I was taking it too far by like trying to be so much like my leader. All
Yeah.
right. And where there was a point where I was out ringside when Jordy was in the ring in Kelowna for Thrash, where a guy called me like, what are you, the dollar store general, Jordy Taylor? And so that's kind of where he like evolved to. And then when I left BIPW for a little bit to join 365 and wrestle with them for a while, is I got with Sawyer, and then this kind of more lippy, more sane, but still pissed off kind of bro kind of started. And then now he's like still the same bro, just dressing a little bit different because me and Sawyer are the momies. We're like the homies of Moment of Truth. So we're like a two college bros that take their drinking too far. Because if you go into my Instagram, you can see a double down where there was a double down. Sawyer runs to the bar, gets me a beer. On 7, I pull myself to the apron. He pours a beer down my throat, and I hulk up to get into a fist exchange. So it's like slowly it went from this outsider's biker to like a disciple into this like college bro, but still like kind of nuts into this little like wannabe biker cholo gangster where that's kind of like the evolvement of it till now, right? I'm
Yeah.
sorry if that was too much on that
No,
question.
no, not at all. Because I was gonna say it works, man. You're able to pull it off too. And I don't think most people could pull off a look like that. At least not to look, not pull it off, not look like a complete joke. Because you don't. To me, it looks like it fits you, and that's who you are. And like I said, you pull it off, man. You pull it off well.
I try
Even
to. Thank you.
even with the button up flannel.
Yeah, it's funny because there's like most of the pictures you can't see, but I have these like thick Timu chains under it most of the time. And when people are like getting lippy, I'll just like open up like the one button. They're like, what? And like just see these stupid chains. And it's like it's all to generate heat, right? And that's my
Yeah.
job as a heel. It's my job to go out and generate that heat and get the fans worked up, because no matter who's coming out behind me, your job is to get that baby face over in your entrance almost. So that's a lot where my character work like comes to play, and where I would say my strong suit in wrestling is. And if I can not even say anything and they're already mad because like I just look like a piece of shit, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
maybe that can help me not get so blown up yelling at fans, even though I love yelling at fans. It's
Yeah,
mental
and
health.
but it makes your job easier if already walking through the curtain, they already hate you just by looking at you. Everything after that, it should be cake.
Oh yeah. It's I think it's getting to that point. Like even if I could settle with one song for once, because I never do. It's always like a month and a half in. I'm like, I'm gonna do this one. If I could settle with one song, I guarantee I could start getting some boos right when my song started playing. But
Yeah.
also, I like switching it up a little bit, because then maybe people are like, okay, who's this? Then I come through the curtain, I'm like, oh, it's this guy with his stupid mini bat. You know, it's like kind of what I want right out of it.
Yeah. You mentioned Moment of Truth, man. Go ahead and let the people know what you guys are about and how'd you link up with them.
Well, Jordy Taylor works prominently with VIPW. Like he's grew up in Nanaimo, where VIPW is kind of like their home base is. And when I was training with that first group of VIPW training school, I remember putting out my first like promo shot, and Jordy Taylor, who is somebody I was a huge fan of, said, "Oh man, this guy's got a good look." But also my one other trainer at the time, Rhea Von Slasher, she was like, "Oh, you remind me of a little Jordy." So when Moment of Truth was like 3, 4 people deep, um, Jordy and I tagged, and you can find this on YouTube if anybody wants to look for it, for the VIPW. We tagged together to have my initiation against 2 other dudes. And later in that night, those 2 had a match to see who else was coming in. And that's when Badman McCann also joined, who is Jordy's real life like best friend from when they were younger, watching wrestling together and stuff. So like that's how I linked up with Moment of Truth, is straight like almost at the Deception, like a few months into Moment of Truth starting. I like joined because of Jordy. And I think that's why I'll never leave, because I was 10 matches in. Like this is 2002, the end of 2000, 2022. So it's like I was 10 matches in, and Jordy seen something in me that I never thought I could see in myself until
Yeah.
now. And uh, um, I appreciated that so much. And that's helped, I think, helped elevate my career to a point that I don't know if I could have done it on my own. So
Yeah.
it's like now I'll never leave, because of the respect factor is just there. Because like one, I joined as the 7th member ever. There's like 50 of us now.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting number 3 under Jordy. So it's like Jordy, my tag team partner Sawyer, and then myself. And it's the MOT OGs, man. So it's like
Yeah.
I've came this far with the group. I ain't ever leaving. Even if MOT ends up dying, which it'll never die to me, because I'll still be rocking those letters on my gear some way,
Yeah.
somehow. I have so much respect for the fact that when I was in a point in my life, I didn't see too much in my own self and my own worth. This dude's like, nah, you got something, kid. And now I'm almost, this is like 2.5 years ago, like 2.5 years later, I'm like, okay, I can, you know what? I can kind of see what he's seen in me, and now
Yeah.
I'm rolling with it, right? And I have him to thank for so much. Him, BJ, my trainer Draco. There's a good list. Cody Washington, Freemater Von Slasher. Like there's a list of these vets, these guys that are above me that I get to see. Eddie Osborne, Haviko, Nolan James, Good Polonius, Harlequin. Like there's a good list of people that all have taken personal time to shape me into the wrestler I am now. And I'm still learning off of those people, and I will continue learning from those people until the day that I can't go anymore. And I just
Yeah.
respect all of them so much. Like, you have, I'm almost getting emotional thinking about it, because like me 2.5 years ago joining the Moment of Truth, I almost was thinking like, why me? Like,
Yeah.
why do you want me around? And then he always waved his fingers. I don't want to hear any of that. You manifest your future. I started manifesting our future, and now I'm doing an interview live on the internet with you from Florida, which
Yeah.
tons of people are going to see this that I never thought 2.5 years ago. So it's like Moment of Truth is like, it's everything to me, right?
No, but that's awesome. 10 matches in to have someone like that boost that confidence in you of, hey, I see something in you. You're gonna do something. Because a lot of people don't get that. A lot of people, it takes them a while to
Yeah.
build up that confidence. And you kind of got injected with that from the get-go, kind of.
Yeah, like if you go watch a Jordy Taylor match, like the guy oozes charisma. Like he comes out of the curtain and you're just like, who's this guy? If you've never seen him before, now I'm interested. You might hate his character by the time he leaves that ring, but he entertained you every second you watch him. And he lit like he is, I don't know, just something. It's a good mentor to have when it comes to character building. And he's a good mentor behind the curtain for me, as somebody that I walked in this business as a absolute broken human being, and not saying I'm not, I'm fixed. I'm still broken. I still got some doubts about myself, and I think that's normal as human beings. But like,
Absolutely.
I'm a hell of a lot more confident than I was walking into this business. That's for sure.
What do you think has been your favorite moment so far?
Tagging with Sawyer, to be honest, I was at a part in my career where I didn't know if I was going to stick around or not, because I was having trouble getting things. And he's another one. Like, Sawyer's like maybe 30, 40 matches above me, but he also like has been around the business a little longer than I have. But he's seen something and he's like, dude, we're both in Moment of Truth. You come tag with me, and let's just make it fun, man. You don't have to stress out. You don't have to have this like weird self-doubt about you. And a year into us tagging, we had a title run last summer where it was like, it just made it fun. And it made me realize that like, not everything about wrestling needs to be so serious all the time. Not
Yeah.
everybody needs to be Jim Cornette about it. I love Jim Cornette, don't get me wrong. But like, not everything needs to be so serious about it. Like, so like tagging with Sawyer is the most fun I've had. I think just being a part of two different companies that operate on a very small like island, maybe Vancouver Island is not that big. To be part of two companies and like an active roster on both companies, that's probably my favorite thing about it. But the most fun I've had in wrestling has been with Sawyer. And man, I have him to thank for so much, and like such good times last summer of holding the belt above our heads, just like having a wild time.
So you like tagging more than being the singles?
I, to be honest, I do when it comes to being in a tag team with him.
Yeah.
Because like coming through the curtain with him, like we're both lippy, but like we kind of are really like, we try to have like funny moments of it. Like I said, our characters are almost like really evil bros, right? So it's like we'd have like the titles and we'd be in the corner just doing rock paper scissors. They'll go in first, but every
Yeah.
time it'd be different. And like we had a thing where I lost every time, but he like some days he'd be like, no, it's okay, you can go. Are you sure? Man, we're nasty at being a tag team. And we'd get these like little chuckle pops and then tell people to shut up right away. But it's like with him, I don't know, tagging with him was just so fun and natural, where both of our styles feed off of each other. Maybe tagging with some other people that I don't have that chemistry with is really hard, and I've
Yeah.
experienced that this year actually. Um, but I love tagging with Sawyer, but at the same time, like to have a good like 1v1 with somebody, especially that you might have some chemistry with, like Badman McCann, he hasn't been in Moment of Truth for almost a year. So I've had 2-3 matches with him. And I think my kind of little, I'm up till like January, I was 130, 140 pounds, just skin and bone, like really tall. I'm about $170, $175 now of hard work, especially because I quit smoking. But like before, I'd have these matches with him where it was like big man, little man. And some of the most fun I've had planning a match, some of the most fun I've had in the ring. Like, so it's really hard to say, but if I can tag with Sawyer over anything, I'd take that every single day of the week, man. That's my boy.
Yeah, no, that's dope. That's dope. You ever done death matches?
No, the closest no, I don't know if I could handle it, man.
I don't blame you.
Tara's that yeah, she's been actually the first tag team title run we won from Fallen Circus, which she's a part of in 365. I give that girl so much respect. Her, Eddie, and Elliot Tyler had a death match last June for the Night of Violence, and I won't lie, I like watched about half the match and I couldn't anymore.
Yeah.
And like that type of stuff for me is hard to watch a human body go through, because like I skateboarded for years and I know what hitting cement's like. Now thinking about coming down like 6 feet off of a superplexing through 2 ladders set up with friggin' light tubes in it, and you watch somebody go and you're like, okay, I'm going to take my boots off. Like I can't. I was in a Fans Bring the Weapons match, which you can find on YouTube for 365, and in November, it's actually when me and Sawyer lost the titles. I couldn't walk properly for like a week and a half. I did like 4 tack bumps. I got hit with the most random objects. I'm 37 years old in June, believe it or not. Like I skateboarded for years, hucking myself off of 10 stairs into cement.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know if I could handle a death match, like let alone watching one. I can barely handle it these days, you know? Like,
no, I don't blame you, because I skated for like 3 months. Like I had a pretty sick manual, but other than that, I fell a couple times. I'm like, fuck this. Like, I'm good.
It was a good 10 years of skating, and then I moved to Vancouver Island. I was like 30 years old. It's like right after my 30th birthday. I went hot manied this pad that was all spray painted, so it was super slippery. And the board slipped out. My buddy described it as me high-fiving the back, my back with cement. And I was like, no, I can't do this anymore. And then 3 years later, I'm like, I think I'm going to become a pro wrestler. It's like, geez, but like, no, like I have so much respect for the people that do death matches. It's just not my thing, because maybe if I was 10 years younger or 15 years younger, like throw me in there, coach. But like now as a 36-year-old individual, I have no business going near a light tube other than to like put it into a ceiling.
Yeah, for sure. That's saying, because wrestlers you're crazy, but deathmatch wrestlers, that's like another level of crazy, man.
It's an absolute other level. I have so much respect for it, man. Though it's like, it's so gnarly, it's so awesome, but it's just not for me.
No, not at all. Let's see some of your shows you got coming up. This Saturday, actually, May 3rd. You're in Victoria, British Columbia for 365 Pro Wrestling's King of the Island. You're in a big battle royal, right? First time being in something that big?
I think my first match ever was like a 22-man battle royale. And then like my third match ever was like a 15 one. I think that's my most favorite type of match, to be honest. Really? Oh yeah, I love it. I don't know why. It's like you go out there, you kind of know your spot from when you get in. You have some fun while you're in there. You know another spot or when you have to get out or who you don't. Like you have probably the least amount of stress going out there, and probably the most like to stress level to fun level. It's like kind of the best, and like one of my I would, anybody tells me at any time, hey man, you want to be in a battle royale? I was like, sign me up, man. I don't even care if I got to do like another 2 matches that night. I'm gonna be a part of that battle royale if I have the chance. Yeah, it's so fun, man.
Does the winner get anything?
I'm not sure about the stipulations of it. Like, to be honest with you, I think there was just an 8-man tournament. There's a lot of talent in that pool for the roster of 365 that didn't get a chance to be in the tournament. So I think the Booker still wanted to showcase some really amazing talent, and what a better way than a big battle royale, right, to kick off the show. I can't even really say if it's a kickoff, but it's somewhere in there. And I heard him talking about it for May the 3rd, and I was like, I could be available May 3rd.
Yeah, put me in.
I was gonna come and watch the tournament either way. My friend's coming up from Seattle or Portland. I can't remember exactly where she's from, but she comes up to 365 and Vic shows, crosses the border, and you guys have Liquid Death down there.
We do.
And we only can get it like by one can in a Canco gas station for like $5 a piece, right? So she's like, "Hey man, if you come and watch the show with me, like I'll bring you up some, seeing that you gave me Coffee Crisp last time I was up there." Because Coffee Crisp, I don't know if you have Coffee Crisp down where you're at, like the chocolate bar. Oh,
No.
dude, it's the best chocolate bar. And when I found out that the States didn't have it, I was like, that's a crime. And I brought her like 2 4-packs of it. So she's like, I'm gonna pay you back and bring you some Liquid Death. I ordered you some like 2 6-packs. So
Nice.
I was like, so I'm gonna go be a fan and be in a battle royale at the same time.
Nice. It'll be fun for you.
Oh yeah.
Let's see. May 23rd, Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling. You're gonna be at the Centennial United Church. Is the Whiskey Menace even allowed in the church?
Well, the last time I was there, believe it or not, I faced Drexel, and I was surprised that place didn't burn down when me and him got in the ring together. To be honest, I was super green back then too. And,
Drexel, long beard with the long crazy shaved
yeah,
crazy ass dude. I just watched the match of his maybe 2 hours ago.
Yeah, like another person that does those death matches where I watch them, and I'm just like, okay, respect, sir. That's absolute takes balls. Like it's just to say the least, right? So it's like the last time I was there, it didn't burn down, even though I was with Drexel. So I think I'll be okay this time. I mean, Moment of Truth has some history in that building of running amok, and I hope the preacher lets me in.
Well, that's what I was just thinking. Like, I couldn't imagine a preacher there for the show and seeing like some of the characters show up. Like, holy shit! Especially Drexel, man. That dude looks crazy.
Oh, dude, I think he's like his moniker is the devil something. I can't remember exactly what it is, but yeah.
Imagine setting up his merch table then inside that church.
Yeah, exactly. I would love like how like I was maybe a year in at that point, and I was super lost as a human being and a wrestler at that time. I would give so much to be able to run that back with him now, because like I almost felt like that I didn't give him enough.
Yeah,
you know, I didn't give him enough as like a super green rookie, and I would love to be able to like run it back and show him like what I've learned in the last 2 years since I got to wrestle him, to be honest. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that show. I love Vancouver Island. That's BJ gave me my start there, Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling. So it's like anytime I have a show for them, I get super hyped because it's nostalgia for me, right? And going back to that building for like the first time in 2 years, it's like I'm ready to raise some hell, I guess you could say, right?
Yeah. Then the next day, May 24th, you're in Nanaimo. Is that how you say it?
Nanaimo.
Where's that name come from? Is that like a native?
I think so. I'm not positive because I'm from Southern Ontario.
Okay.
Right? And I moved out to Vancouver Island about 8 years ago. But I'm not sure where Nanaimo I know there's a delicious little chocolate candy that's like named after it, but I'm not sure where the name comes from. But I'm super stoked for that show. Like super stoked. Because that's the show where like I live in Nanaimo. So like a lot of my friends will come and watch me. Like I have a lot of friends that aren't even wrestling fans, but they'll be like, "Oh, you're wrestling? I'm gonna come and watch you because you're really entertaining." And then most of the time they'll be like, "Dude, this is what you do. This is awesome. This is amazing. And then next thing you know, you always see them in Nanaimo, or you'll see them even come up island to Campbell River, or they go down to Vic just to be able to be like, dude, that last time was so sweet. I drank a couple beers and watched people like kick the crap at each other. That's what you do. That's sick, and you make little wrestling fans out of them.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. June 27th, Vancouver Island Pro Wrestling's WrestleFest 2. That's their biggest show of the year.
Oh, dude, that's it's probably the biggest show on the island. WrestleFest 1 was like 2,000 people. It's a big stage. We have screens. There's on their YouTube channel, you can actually see the live broadcast that they did for that. And that was actually my comeback after 2 years of being away from Vancouver Island. I came out with Moment of Truth, and Serena Deebs was there. Evil Uno was there last year. It was a big stadium feel. It's kind of like, it feels like to me, like if you go watch a older WWF house show like live, it had that feel to it. And so like, this is for Vancouver Island. This is like the biggest show in indie wrestling for Vancouver Island and for that company. And I'm so stoked for that. Like the whole me going to the gym every single day and trying to pack on pounds, that's for like amping up to that show. So when I take my shirt off, like those fans are like, oh, he has been putting in work, like, that's
when you check out that flannel.
Yeah. And that's why, like, you see me in a lot of photos on my Instagram right now where I'm not posting anything really outside of the flannel, because like I'm waiting for the wow factor.
There you go.
I'm not gonna lie to you.
Yeah. All right, man. Before I let you go, something you know now that you wish you knew when you first started.
I wish I would just like, every vet's gonna tell anybody that's starting out, if you think you're going slow, go slower.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish I knew how slow they really truly meant, because like you can work in so much without doing so much.
Yes.
If you get what I'm saying.
Yes.
So like, I remember this one, Jesse Ventura, this one time, he's like, one time me and Tony Atlas went 25 minutes and we went the first 10 minutes without even touching each other.
Yeah.
And I always kind of think of that where like almost less is more. It's like watering plants sometimes, right? Like it's like less is almost more. And I wish I would have known that, because I like would always try to kind of rush through everything because I thought it was going to look way cooler. But it's like almost now that if I take my time and make everything big, it's always way more impactful, and that becomes bigger,
Yeah. I had August Artois. He's like the FIP world champ down here in Florida, and he wrestled Rich Swann, and he said probably his best match ever. And he said the first 10 minutes was just them dancing back and forth, and the crowd was so into it. And he's like, I never, it's like best match I ever had, and I barely did anything.
Yeah, one of my favorite, shout out to Josh Cadwell, one of my favorite matches I've ever had my whole career. We had a 12-minute match that we had to do. So he used to come out and like play this guitar and rock back and forth. And at one point I make fun of him. He's like, let me see what you guys, like, you and your stupid air guitar. It's like, oh yeah, you could do better. We had an air guitar battle for the first 4 and 5 minutes of the match. Yeah. Like just going, ding, ding. It's like I got these huge boos, and then it got to the point where I think he started doing a riff, but I was in the turnbuckle kind of fed up, and I started drumming to it, and then I was fine wait, whoa, aren't we supposed to be wrestling, fighting and wrestling? And then we got into it, and it was one of the most fun matches I've ever had. And the first 5 minutes, we were just literally having an air guitar battle. And that's the fun part of wrestling is like you can make it what you really want to make it.
Yeah, I mean, most fans just want to be entertained. They don't. I mean, if you entertain them, they can go without the suicide dives and the top rope stuff. As
Yeah,
long as you're entertaining them.
exactly, man, exactly. And like
Yeah.
that's why I find like my favorite part of being a wrestler is getting out there to entertain the fan. My job is to be a heel, and that is to make them not like me. And I can be very entertaining, especially if there's a hockey bro. If there's like a hockey bro that I know plays like Junior D sitting in like the front row drinking beers, I got so much chirps to tell him that he might chirp me back, but guaranteed at the end of that show, he's going to come up and be like, oh, bro, dude, yeah, you had me there with the pants joke there, you know, like it was so good, like it's so good. But yeah, that's the whole point is that entertainment factor, right? Make them forget that they're well, like suspend the disbelief, right?
Yeah, for sure. Where can the people find you at?
I got a Instagram page that's just Johnny Rostyn. The name that you see like right there.
Yeah.
And on my Facebook, you can look up my Facebook, Johnny Rostyn, and I'm on there. And I yet to have a YouTube like channel. But one of these days I'll get it going. And if you add my Instagram with that name right there or Facebook, you'll definitely see that come up in the future at some point. Hell, who knows? I'm getting older, man. I might end up doing some interviews or something like you're doing on a YouTube channel one day.
Why not, man? It's good fun.
Yeah, man, it's great. You get to talk to some good people, I bet too.
Yes, absolutely. Johnny, man, appreciate you coming on, man. Had a blast with you, dude. Wish you nothing but the success, man, in the future.
Thanks, man. Thank you. I had a blast too. Thank you so much for having me on. This is stuff like this has kind of always been like a dream, man. Like to be able to sit down and talk to somebody about a very short career that I've had, and I still consider myself very green. So the fact that you wanted me to come on is an honor. So thank you very much. And
absolutely.
Anytime, man. Anytime.
Absolutely. Definitely gonna have you back on, man. Everyone go check them out. I'll put the links all in the YouTube video. Have a good night, man. Thank you again.
See you, bud.